Last time, I laid the theoretical groundwork for a look at some ways in which composers have creatively borrowed chords from a major key's parallel minor key to inject a brief moment of darkness or sadness or melancholy into an otherwise happy and kind of predictable sounding major key progression. As promised, I'd now like to reference some famous examples of this practice, starting with the most common borrowed chord, which is 4 minor, which is the 4 chord from the parallel minor key. The most common way the 4 minor chord is used in a major key is to put it after the 4 major chord and then go back to the 1 major. So you have 4 major, 4 minor, 1 major. And this is used in countless great songs, and it's kind of a cliche move, but it's effective. So here are a couple of examples. Creep by Radiohead is built entirely around a 4 chord progression that repeats throughout the entire song. And it goes to G, it's in the key of G. There's your 1 chord, and then it goes to B, which is actually your 3 major. Remember I said last time, if you're talking about flat 3 major versus 3 major, and then there's a little sus4 move, and then it goes to the 4 major, again, a little sus4 move, and then 4 minor. Ooh, and that's what gives the song its signature touch of melancholy. So we have the bass does a cool little walk-up thing. So it keeps doing that. There's a lot of dynamics in the song. It comes in really heavy. It goes, but then it gets real quiet, just using the same 4 chords. And, if they didn't use that minor chord, it'd be like, kind of underwhelming, It's like too happy, right? So that minor chord, major, 4 major, 4 minor, and you're relieved every time it goes back to the 1. Another example, also in the key of G, is that nice piano-driven ballad Desperado by the Eagles. It starts out with that piano riff. It sounds a lot more elegant on the piano with the sustain pedal. I actually have a way of playing that with a capo, done in other lessons. But, okay, so it goes 1 dominant 7, 4 major, 4 minor. Okay, so in the verse, it's on the lyrics. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? On the word senses. And that really adds some emotional gravity to the lyric, to the songwriting, And gives it that signature effect. David Bowie used a similar progression, 4 major, 4 minor, back to 1 major, in his classic song Space Oddity, which is in the key of C. So, okay, so I'm playing C here. I'm fortifying it with this, adding the G note below it, which is a cool thing to do. Makes it sound fat, right? Same way when you play a D chord and you hit the A string, it makes it sound fuller even though it's not the root. And then he goes to the 3 major, and then he makes that the 7, E dominant 7, and here it is. I'm stepping through the door, and I feel my spaceship knows which way to go. So you got F major, F minor, really? Then back to 1. Okay, very effective. The great John Lennon similarly used the same kind of 4 major to 4 minor to 1 major move in several of his greatest songs with the Beatles, such as If I Fell, that beautiful song in the key of D. And on a bridge at 1 minute and 4 seconds, where it goes, okay, it's D7. Okay, now we're at G, the 4 major chord, G minor. That's the 1 chord D over an A bass note, and then the 5, and back to 1. So it's the bridge again, just to play it as straight up bar chords, or fretted chords. We're in D, by the way, and that's D7. It becomes the 5 chord of 4. We're pushing to 4, okay? And then 4 minor, da 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 da, back to the 1 with the 5th and the bass. Second inversion, we talked about that. Play it like that, or just like this, or A7, whatever voicing you like, and then back to D. Very nice, very effective. Lennon employed that same G minor chord elsewhere in the song, but in a different and interesting way, where he didn't go to the 4 major. He just went right from the 1 major, D, to the 4 minor, and then the 5 major. He did that in the turnaround between the first and second verses. I think it's at 38 seconds into the track. So, and then that's D, and then 4 minor, 1 major, adds a touch of darkness to the proceedings. And then even more nice, even nicer is at the end of the song, a little tag. If I fell in love with you. And he even harmonizes it. So we get this G minor thing going on. And then it's just so nice. The clouds just part and you get that warmth coming in when you go back to the 1 major. In My Life, another of Lennon's early Beatles masterpieces, offers 2 additional great examples of the 4 minor chords used in a major key. In this case, we're in the key of A. Okay, so that's 1, 5, and then 6 in A major, and then 1 dominant, which is a 5 of 4, A7. But instead of just playing A7, he plays A7 over G. Interesting. And then here we go, the 4 chord, 4 major. Some have gone. That's it, that's the move. D major. The some remain. So that really adds a lot to the song, you know. And then the other great example in that song, all these places, everyone. And here's like the punchline of the tune. Okay, that's 2 major. Wow, where did that come from? And that doesn't even go to like, it's just, it goes right to 4 minor and back to 1. So that changes. In my life, I love you more. My life. Oh, it's so poignant, right? And effective. Good stuff.